Hello, today we will be using paper strips cut from recycled paper, a mandrel, polyvinyl acrylate glue, and we will be creating a recycled paper bead that will then be glazed with resin and other decorative elements to make it water resistant. First, we want to take our paper strip, and it does not have to be cut into a point. We will wrap it around our mandrel or whatever we are using to create the hole in the center of our bead, and just making sure that the glue does not stick to the tool at all. We're going to start applying the glue, which I've placed into a bottle and I've thinned it a little bit with water. This is clear glue because I don't like to see glue. Even though white glue dries clear, this clear glue dries very, very clear. And you're going to continue to wrap your recycled strip of paper. We're using grocery bags and craft paper from packing boxes for this project. And you can use any kind of recycled paper that you have, but I love the appearance of craft paper. I feel that it is one of the most natural looking man-made products that I'm aware of. And I do enjoy working with it. It feels like receiving free art supplies anytime I get a box or a package. Now, when you're getting close to the end, you will be making sure that the very last little bit is well glued down. And then you will want to use your fingertips to press and seal the laminated together layers of the bead very well together for a few moments while the glue sets up and dries a little bit. And then you can leave the bead on your tool, or you can take it off and let it dry elsewhere. I like leaving it on for as long as I can, and I do have multiple tools to use so that I can place this to the side and let the glue dry. Sometimes if the glue seems like it's not sticking the layers together very well, or if I just want to go the extra mile, I will take an extra few drops of glue and I'll place them on the cut ends on either side of the bead, and I press with my fingertips to make sure that the glue is completely laminating all of the layers together. And now you can see a little bit better. I've got my camera moved over a little bit, and we can see that I'm smoothing the glue onto the end, and then you just want to let it dry for a while. Now, once you have your dried glued bead, and you want to make sure your glue is closed, otherwise it will also dry, I like to use a non-stick surface such as one of my resin molds upside down, or any kind of piece of silicone. What we're collecting here are some strips cut from paper and some strips cut from recycled packaging and some cellophane and various recycled materials. I like to use iridescent, holographic, everything bright, sparkly, shiny, and, neon colors. And you don't need much, especially with a small bead like this, which is only about maybe 10 to 12 millimeters. And it's a wide bead, but the appearance of the bead in a bracelet or necklace would be kind of thin, because from side to side, as you can see, pressed between my finger and thumb, it is only a little bit larger than about 1/4 of an inch. We will take our same glue and gently but firmly wrap a paper strip of any color of our choice. And I sort of let it do its thing. It kind of wants to go in a couple of different directions, and we just want to make sure that we use a drop of glue everywhere as needed to make sure that the paper strip stays very well glued down. And now when you're gluing the strips of cellophane or plastic material cut from recycled packaging or what have you, you do want to take the time to start the piece very carefully, press it down and hold it down until the glue dries. And you may even need to add a couple more drops of glue and do this part over again if the glue isn't doing a great job. And you can see that I'm holding this lovely piece of holographic recycled packaging material. Then I'm going to place glue along the back of the whole thing, or just a small piece at a time. You want to thinly wipe the glue to make sure that there's not excess, and then just press it gently and firmly to the bead all the way around. You can go kind of slowly and make sure that it's sticking. And then obviously again I will hold the ends and hold as many of the parts of the paper strip or the cellophane strip as I can while the glue dries. I love looking at holographic materials. They're so beautiful and sparkly. And on this thin small bead we may only want to use a couple of pieces. I'm looking to add one or two more colors, and looks like we're taking neon yellowish green so far, and then we have a piece of the gorgeous recycled cellophane with the holographic, and then I am using a piece of clear cellophane from the Little Windows Resin Dichroish collection, which I absolutely love and highly recommend. We can continue adding strips of paper and adding strips of cellophane, and we do have to take a little care. The plastic can be a little tricky to glue down to the paper. And then we want to just keep adding and adding more strips until the bead looks the way we want it to. I like to have my bead mostly covered, but I do like to keep the craft paper showing through a little bit, and it does also show through the clear cellophane that you use. Even this cellophane, which is iridescent and has a little bit of a pinkish tint to it, will allow the natural color of the craft paper to soak through. And once we're done making sure that all the strips are very well glued down, we can leave it to dry. And sometimes I even place it back on the mandrel for this part. You can see how gorgeous that is. It just sparkles and is so lovely. Tune in next time for the glazing process.